Welcome to the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro 4.6K tutorial. First, we'll go through the equipment cases, then we'll build the camera in the format of the certification test, and at the end, give some extra tips and tricks and a few safety notes. Let's get started. Let's look at the equipment cases. Our first bag here is our camera case. We've got the camera body, and in this particular case, we have the EVF attached. Some of the cases will come without it attached, and we'll go over how to attach it later in the video. Coming into the front pocket, we have the magic arm for the external monitor, as well as two cables. We have a BNC and a D-tap cable. In the porta-brace case is the Blackmagic external monitor, and lastly in the side pocket is the hand grip. Now coming around to the front of the case here, on this top side pocket we have a little pouch with the card reader. Inside there is a cable and a card reader for the CFast cards that will come inside the camera. And lastly, this bottom pouch has the AC power for the camera, as well as the cable for the wall. Coming into our matte box here, in the back portion we have two sets of rods. We have a 12-inch set and an 8-inch set. We've got our follow focus, the matte box itself with two filter trays. In the front here we have our French flag, two side flags, and the rosette hand grip extension for the shoulder mount. And that's our matte box kit. Next we're looking at our Sigma zoom lens kit. We have two lenses here, an 18-35 and a 50-100. And these are the lenses that will be used during the test. We also have a step-down ring and a UV haze filter to protect the lenses. Coming into our tripod case here, we have our Vinton 5 series tripod. It's important to place the head of the tripod a certain way as marked on the outside and inside of the case. Then we have our back pocket. In this first compartment, we have the tripod pan handle. And in our second compartment, we have the tripod plate. And our last camera equipment case is our power pack. Inside, you'll find a power pack with the 4 batteries attached, fully charged. And in the side pocket are 2 cables to charge the power pack. There's the standard wall charger, and then a 4-prong XLR cable. The format of the test is as follows. You will be given an instruction which will prompt you to complete a stream of tasks that will further build the camera. In the video, you will see the instruction appear on screen, and the following steps you will need to take will be explained. You will be given as many attempts to complete each action as you need, provided that your actions do not risk damage to the equipment. The test will end immediately if there is any damage or risk of damage to the equipment. Remove the tripod from the case, and stow the case well away from where you will be working. Inspect the tripod for obvious signs of damage. Make sure the spreaders spread, using the numbers as a guide to match each leg to the other. Next, check that the legs rise smoothly and lock securely, applying a bit of pressure to each leg to make sure that the locks will not give. Next, I will balance the tripod head using the bubble on top. Lock that in place. Unlock the pan and tilt locks and check for smooth motion of pan and tilt. Now I'll add fluid to both the pan and tilt as I prepare to mount the tripod plate and eventually the camera. Finally, attach the pan handle to whichever side of the tripod you prefer. Remove the tripod plate from the case, making sure that the tripod lock is open. Then line up the plate and slide it till it snaps in. Then it will be locked onto the tripod. You'll just need to tighten the screw down so it's locked in place, lining the front of the plate up with the tripod head. Remove the camera body from the equipment case and examine for signs of damage or abuse. Are all screws present, no loose parts, and no cracks? Next, align the V-mounts on the tripod plate and the camera body. Slide it and make sure that it locks in place. Give it a little jiggle to make sure it's set. On the side of the plate here is the release mechanism. You push down on the red and pull out with the black to release the camera. Next, we're going to attach the electronic viewfinder, the EVF. The screw should come from the top of the camera body. Take the EVF and line it up with the channel, sliding it into place. You might feel a bit of resistance, so don't hesitate to apply a bit of pressure. Now take the screw into the center here, screw it down into place. Now coming to the right side of the camera body, we're going to attach the BNC cable into the SDI out port, twisting the black knobbed piece in place, allowing the cable to move freely. Then attaching the 4-prong XLR into place. And to release the cable, push in the gold piece and pull the cable out. Rotate the bayonet lock to the left to remove the sensor cap. Visually inspect the sensor for smudges and/or the presence of lint, dirt, or any other foreign material. Cycle through the built-in ND filters using the adjustment dial. Identify the registration pin at the top right of the lens mount, and check the surfaces of the lens mount for any dents, scratches, or dirt. First, install the 12-inch set of rods, and making sure to tighten the screw only to camera tight, not grip tight. Remove the lens from the case, remembering to leave both caps in the case. Check that the aperture ring, zoom ring, and focus ring are functioning smoothly. Looking down the barrel of the lens, does the zoom mechanism work smoothly without displacing any of the drive mechanism, and does the iris ring move slowly throughout its range? To mount the lens, you may ask your camera tester to be your AC, removing the sensor cap so you can mount the lens. Grip the lens from the body, not the front, and line up the bayonet key with the registration pin of the lens. Insert lens straight in, holding it square to your body, and immediately tighten the bayonet lock, and check that the lens is secure before releasing. First, check the follow focus to make sure the mechanisms are working. Then, align the follow focus onto the rods, making sure the bottom piece is loosening, and pulling the arm out so you can slide it past the lens. Then, push it against the side, lock the teeth together, and screw into place. Check to make sure it's functioning. Check the matte box for any signs of damage. Then, retrieve the adapter ring from the lens case and gently thread it into the back of the matte box. Make sure the rail clamps are loose before aligning onto the rods. Now, slide the matte box onto the rods till you meet the lens. You'll see there's a little ring of light here, so you'll need to put in a little extra pressure till the matte box snaps into place. Then, tighten the rail clamps onto the rods. Retrieve the French flag from the matte box and check for damage on each flag. When mounting the flag, make sure to keep the logo on the exterior of the matte box. Now, line up the keyholes at the top of the matte box, making sure that the mounting pins are unscrewed. Slide the flag in place and tighten the screws down, camera tight, not grip tight. The lock lever must be loosened whenever the flag is adjusted and tightened immediately after the flag is positioned. Next, we'll mount the side flags onto the matte box. The side flags have the same cutout as the French flag. On the matte box, there is a small slit with the lock screw in the center. Make sure the screw is loosened and fit the side flag into the slit, lining up the cutout with the screw. Tighten the screw and make sure the flag is secure. The adjustable levers should be facing out so the operator can adjust them. Repeat this on the other side. First, loosen the magic arm. One screw is a metal contoured thumb wheel, and the other is a rubber cushioned thumb wheel. Taking the metal contoured piece, screw that into the body, making sure that the arm is loose. Next, retrieve the monitor from the case and screw the rubber cushion piece into the monitor. Remember to twist the screw and not the monitor. Once the screw is tight to the monitor, rotate the magic arm into the body of the camera, positioning it to the right of the screw in the camera. If the monitor begins to fall, it will only tighten the screw in the camera further. To make sure the setup is secure, lightly wiggle the assembly. Coming to the back of the camera, connect the SDI cable to the monitor. The SDI cable should go out from the camera and into the monitor. So you're hooking up the SDI from the SDI out port on the camera to the SDI in on the monitor. Next, connect the DTAP cable into the battery or the battery plate and then plug it into the other side of the monitor. Power on the external monitor with the button on the top right of the monitor. Attach the battery by lining up the gold metal prongs with the battery plate. You should hear the battery snap into place. At the top left of the plate is the release mechanism. Push it in and pull the battery off. Turn the camera on with the metal switch here at the top of the camera. We've now opened the LCD screen and we're looking at the inside. As you can see, there are 2 slots for CFast cards, and the CFast cards will be in the camera. There's a switch at the top that allows you to change between SD card and CFast card. Make sure it is set to CFast. From the home page, click the bottom center of the screen where it says 48 minutes. This opens the card menu. Format the CFast card by clicking Format CFast 1. You can format the card in OS Extended or exFAT. OS X Extended is used for Mac, and exFAT is used for Windows or other PCs. Next, reset the real number by clicking Edit Real Number and then typing in 1 and hitting Update. Then you'll hit Format CFast 1, Format again, and you'll hold the button for 3 seconds to lock in the format. Wait for it to complete formatting, and it will let you know when it's done. Next, click the menu button to open the main menu. The menu opens to the Record page. Now, choose your codec. You can choose between Blackmagic RAW or ProRes. Please do research and discuss with your cinematographer and editor what is the best format, compression rate, and resolution for you. Next, select the Monitor tab and choose your on-camera and external display settings. We recommend pushing the features from the camera to the external monitor, as the camera's features will be more accurate. The LCD screen is the attached monitor we are working on currently, and the external Blackmagic monitor we installed is connected to the main SDI, the ones located in the back of the camera. This menu is where you can add focus assist, frame guides, and other helpful features when shooting. And the last tab under the monitor menu, titled All, allows you to push any of these important features to all of the monitors you're utilizing. Next, select the audio menu and configure the levels to record your on-camera audio. Lastly, select the LUTs menu and choose a LUT. We recommend the JDL_UM46 LUT. Now we will mount the rosette extension arm. Check the teeth for damage, and then screw the extension piece into the hand grip. And then secure the arm to the rosette mount located just above the rod attachment on the shoulder mount. Repeat the process on the other side. Now we will remove the camera from the tripod and place it on your shoulder. With a firm grip on the top handle, the instructor will unlock the camera and slide the other hand to cradle the bottom of the camera. Then, the instructor will place the camera on your shoulder and say, "Got it?" to which you respond, "Got it," when you have a firm grip and are ready to take the weight of the camera. Now, the instructor will remove the camera from your shoulder and you will ask, "Got it?" to which the instructor should respond, "Got it," when they have the camera. Then, lower the camera onto the tripod plate and lock it back into place. Next, you'll mount the Sigma 18-35 zoom lens. Begin by removing the matte box. Loosen the follow focus and slide it off the rods. Then, remove the zoom lens and ask your instructor to cover the sensor to avoid dust or dirt getting in while you change the lens. Remember to put the caps on the lens when storing away in the kit. Inspect the 18-35mm lens for cleanliness and function. Then, mount the 18-35 lens and tighten the bayonet lock ring around the lens, making sure it's secure. Next, remove the 12-inch rods and retrieve the 8-inch rods. If you push the 8-inch rods all the way in, there will not be enough room to secure the matte box. So adjust the rods to allow enough room for the matte box while maintaining a secure hold in the rod attachment. Reattach the follow focus and secure onto the focus ring. Then, put the matte box back on and snap it into place. Now you can disassemble the camera and pack it for transit. Each piece of equipment should be correctly stowed in the case from which it was taken during assembly. Remember to remove the step-down ring from the back of the matte box and return it to the lens case. Make sure that lens caps and port covers are properly replaced and that safe handling practices continue. Remember to return both CFast cards to the camera body after you have offloaded your footage. After removing the rods, remember to tighten the wing nuts on the rod mount. On the tripod head, remember to zero the fluid settings and unlock the pan and tilt locks before stowing in the tripod case. And lastly, don't forget to lock the tripod legs together and place the head the specific way into the tripod case. First, we're going to look at some camera settings on our LCD screen. From the screen, you are able to control the frame guides, frames per second, shutter angle, ISO, white balance, and tint by touching the respective settings on the top of the LCD screen. Additionally, in the top right corner of the LCD screen is the battery voltage, which can be changed to percentage so you can see how much time is left on the battery from your screen. When I click it, it changes to a red number, which means that the battery is getting low. On the bottom is the gray record button, and when pushed, it will show recording and which card you are recording to. Next to it is the card menu, which we went over beforehand, and lastly, you can adjust the resolution from this screen. Coming over to the external monitor we installed, you can record from this monitor onto an SD card. There are 2 slots available on the right side of the monitor. Sliding on the monitor brings up the menu. On the storage page, you can format the cards, but remember this is for the cards in the monitor. It does not control the cards in the camera. While taking your examination and while working on set, it's important that anytime you step away from a case, you have at least one lock closed. And that way, if anybody ever picks up the case, the contents will not come out. When inserting an ND filter into the filter tray, do not pull the top hinge up and try to fit the glass in. Instead, have one hand underneath the filter tray to cradle the piece while gently laying the glass into the bottom cutout. Then, rest the ND onto the top hinge and slowly pull it out to allow the glass to come into place. Never place a lens on its side or on its rear cap. It should always be placed barrel facing down. And that is the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro camera exam.